Hello, my name is Mike, and I am your guide in this video. The last video that you're ever going to need about the relationship of spirituality to money. Or maybe this video is just the gateway substance to getting you addicted to the ascension as pertains to the 5D merchant society that is yet to come, and for some of us is already here. We're going to be going over the common money blocks that people face, especially in the 5D community, the Starseed community. These are good people. Y'all are great freaking people and some of the best on this planet. And yet, we are some of the most vulnerable to the Matrix attacks as pertains to financial freedom. And financial freedom is, like it or not, the ability to do what you want, when you want, and to have the ability, the know-how, and the resources to actually fulfill your mission here on Earth. So that's what we're about here at the Astral Atom Network. And I come face to face with people's money blocks every single day, since we are, as the Astral Atom Network, part of the 5D merchant society that's emerging here on this planet at this time. So in this video, we're going to help you deprogram some of those money blocks. I'm going to be giving a lot of stuff away here that probably I shouldn't be, because we sell some of this information too. So you'll watch this video to the end and make sure that you get the goods. We're going to need to not die when it comes to the AI takeover. That's got to be our number one imperative here, is that AI is coming for our jobs, and the fact that we still have jobs is part of the old Matrix programming, but AI is going to take our jobs. But that doesn't mean that it has to destroy the economy, and least of all does it mean that it has to destroy you and me. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into how to actually structure your life and your surroundings so that money flows to you effortlessly. This is all possible. And I learn more about this every single day. I'm going to share with you some of the cool stuff that I've learned even in just the last couple of days that I didn't know. Is going to blow your mind. And yeah, I want to tell you a little bit of a story first. Back in the first grade, I was exposed to Shotokan karate. And I love the martial arts to this day. It's why I love yoga. It's why I love breath work. It's how I got into magic and the lesser and greater banishing and invocation rituals, the bringing in the elemental energy, bringing in the planetary energy, all of it. I got addicted to it in the first grade. It was through a flyer. It was a class sponsored by the YMCA, but just hosted in the basement of a local church. And I went to the very first class that my instructor taught, and I wound up getting a black belt from this same instructor over the course of over a decade. And he actually never remembered that I was in the first class that he ever taught. But the thing about this first class is we were young kids, maybe 6, 7 years old. And his motivation was teaching us how to not die, how to not get kidnapped. And we had no awareness. We lived in a great community. We had no awareness of some of the terrible things that people would do to children and try to abduct children. So he instilled in us this awareness of stranger danger and what to do if somebody were to grab a hold of us and try to take us away. So one of the first things he taught us was, somebody grabs you by the wrist, like, come here, kid, come here, let's go. And like what to do. How do you do the breakaway technique. So rather than just try to pull your wrist away from their grip, first thing you want to do is twist to loosen their grip. So using geometry and intelligence rather than brute force, so you can snap away. So breakaway techniques like that. Another one he taught us was if they go and they pick you up by like the waist, or they just bear hug you, like try to throw you into a van. How do you get away from that? Well, first you start screaming, but then you can drop into a horse riding stance. A horse riding stance is very powerful. If you practice the horse riding stance properly for even 5-10 minutes a day, you'll develop such great internal force that it's formidable against most black belts. And internal force is sort of the X factor, unquantifiable of martial arts. That it's not just muscular strength. It's not just cardiovascular endurance or sprinting ability or short twitch fibers or long twitch fibers. The horse riding stance is something esoteric where you develop this immovable root that you literally cannot be moved. And he had the class like stand in a line, all these kids, and said, all right, drop into horse riding stance. And he picked the biggest guy in the parent seating section. Had these big guns. His name was Dennis. Had tattoos, these guns, and this guy was just a man's man. And he said, Dennis, I want you to go and try to pick up each child. Like, just grab them by the waist, like, try to see if you can lift them. And like before dropping in a horse riding stance, he could pick up everybody. No problem. He said, okay, just stand there. You'd pick up each, go down the road, pick up every kid. No problem. All right. And then he had everybody drop into horse riding stance. So just like legs shoulder width apart, you just like drop into the stance. And you sit in the stance. And he went down the row again and tried to pick up each child. And he could still actually pick up everybody. But it was a little more challenging. Now, here's the part where he lost half the class. He said, now, I want you to do the horse riding stance, but in your mind's eye and in the voice in your head, say to yourself, I am a tree. I'm a tree. I'm a tree, and I will not be moved. See your roots extending through your legs and going deep into the ground. 9 feet into the ground. I am a tree. I will not be moved. Dennis went down the line again. He could not pick up a single child practitioner of this technique after 1 minute of practice. This is literal defense against the dark arts. Our instructor revealed to us 7 or 8 years later that he stopped teaching this technique. He stopped teaching it because he lost half the class the next week. They just didn't come back. The parents pulled him out and asked for their money back. They thought he was teaching their kids something that they didn't want them to know. Christians, I guess, I don't know. But it was too spooky. It was too, God, they're using your mind to plant themselves. It was too real. I mean, it's a shame. Like, it's great for their kids. It's great for self-development to build a immovable root. But that's the power of that internal force, is that your external reality will just shift if you know how to build significant internal force. So fast forward a number of years, and I was having some health challenges. And I contacted, through Spring Forest Qigong, Master Gadu Dushin, through Dushin Residence. Wonderful, wonderful man. Helped me through a very challenging time when I didn't know if I was dying. And you know, I asked him if I was dying, if my days were numbered, because I didn't feel like there was any way out, and I didn't trust the medical system, and I wasn't about to go to a doctor and, you know, try to diagnose mystery symptoms that I couldn't even put my finger on. And he guided me into a deep meditative state, which, it's the Force. It's like a freaking Jedi, that a stronger mind always has influence over a weaker mind. And he cultivated significant internal force, but one of unconditional love. And he guided me to see that in myself. It's at your heart center. So when you're meditating with somebody that has those years of experience under their belt, and they have the energy, you can easily resonate with them at those frequencies. They can help take you down into those states. And he pointed out that there's a bright light in your heart. And he said, this is the light of your unconditional love. And I knew about the power of Qigong, and I was thinking to myself, come on, Master Gadu. That's, you're just kind of blowing smoke up my ass. This is not my energy. Like, you're transmitting your energy. Like, I don't have a bright light in my heart. But he said, no, the healing energy is already inside of you. This is the light of your unconditional love. And I felt at ease. And it wasn't the only time that I was at ease with a Qigong master. It's what they do. So he showed me that. And I realized that my problems weren't as big as I was making them. It's already inside me, and it's already inside of you. But there is the power of the solar plexus energy. There's the energy in this region of your body, at your solar plexus is where it all happens. Your Muladhara chakra, that third chakra, or in between your third chakra and your heart. The solar plexus is where you make things happen in the world. It's your confidence energy. It's the light that you radiate inwards and outwards to others. And the thing about this is it's sort of proportional to the amount of money that you're making, or the amount of wealth that you're not only able to attract, but to hold on to. And it ties into your auric field, that the energy in your solar plexus is associated with the color yellow. So you had Muladhara, first chakra, red, Svadhisthana, orange, and then Manipura chakra is it. Did I say Manipura chakra? Yeah. Okay. So that third chakra is yellow, and if you activate this chakra, Sadhguru says you become a doer in the world. You become somebody that just you go and you make things happen. And if you don't have this active now, if you don't have that yellow power in your aura, don't worry, because it's something that you can activate. And it's something that you can activate with just a little bit of practice. You can cultivate this. And even if you have none of this now, you can invite that into your life. You can wear yellow and it'll help you out. You can get like things that are you can get a yellow crystal. But yeah, like cultivating that color yellow. I was listening to Montauk Chia just put out a wealth course. It was incredible. I went and I got it immediately. And that's one of the things he harps on is the yellow color. You can get these yellow shirts, but he says, like, make sure the shirt is so it's just plain yellow. There's no logo on it. There's no branding. It's just bright yellow, gold. Gold, 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 gold. And even cut off the tag on the yellow shirt, so there's nothing corrupting that yellow energy. So if you want to activate this energy in yourself, you can do breath work. There's all different kinds of breath work to activate the solar plexus. Basically any kind of breath work should activate the solar plexus. Even just like breathing deeply, like getting the air into your lungs. Like most people breathe like very shallow. Like don't even use most of their lungs. So if you can just get more air into your lungs, like that's a solar plexus activation. Do Surya Namaskar, the most basic yoga sequence that they teach in every yoga class. Do Surya Namaskar. It is designed to activate the solar plexus, which corresponds to the solar energy. That's why Surya Namaskar means sun salutation. You're saluting the sun and you're inviting that solar energy into yourself. Like it radiates like from your solar plexus. So that sequence, I don't know how it works. I can't really give you that, other than that it does. Even if you just do 2-3 rounds, you'll feel it, and then you're supposed to build up to like 10 or 100. Like I never do that many. Surya Namaskar hasn't been my main practice, but I can tell you it works. Yeah, breath work, qigong, like basic qigong movements will do it. You can look up breathing of the universe. This is something taught by the Spring Forest Qigong School. Um, I'm not a certified teacher. I'd love to be someday if I get high enough in the system and actually take the classes instead of just studying them. But essentially, you're coordinating your breathing. Like you're standing in horse stance, and you coordinate your breathing with your arms. So as you like inhale, you're imagining this like chi between your hands. You're pulling it apart. And as you exhale, you can feel the energy sort of compress, and any impurities just get blown out of your body as black. You're visualizing like black smoke or butterflies during the exhale, like coming from every part of your body. You inhale, and it comes into your heart. This is a strong heart activation, but it's done very gently. So you can look up Breathing of the Universe, Spring Forest Qigong. I'm not going to teach it here, but you can go to their website, Spring Forest Qigong. Get the 5 Elements course. That one's great. There's also just various videos floating around YouTube. They were doing Spring Forest Qigong every day. That's what they call it, Spring Forest Qigong every day. You can find them either on Facebook or YouTube. There's a few recordings floating around out there. You can sort of teach yourself from those, and that's the gateway substance to Spring Forest Qigong. You get the course, and then all of a sudden you're a daily practitioner and do 100 days in a row and build up the chi. So yeah, solar plexus, build up the solar plexus, get that gold color into your aura. Yeah, there's a lot of money blocks floating around too. Let's talk about that. Especially for spiritual people. Our audience is incredibly spiritual, very kind-hearted people. And I see more money blocks in the spiritual community than almost anywhere else. And it's really unfortunate because it like this is a community that probably deserves to make money the most and to have money the most, just by virtue of who you guys are and what we all represent as part of the awakening. But that's where the matrix control system has these lingering governors on the engine of your mind that rear their ugly head when it looks like you're about to escape. So one of the ones that I hear a lot, and we have these weekly Zoom calls in the Obsidian Inner Order private community, where I hear every single week somebody saying that the system needs to all come down, and yeah, man, I can't wait for the collapse. It's all gonna come crashing down, and those billionaires are gonna get their comeuppance, and can't wait for money to just disappear. We won't need money anymore. And like, respectfully, I don't agree at all. I don't agree. I don't consent. It's a bunch of bullshit. The money system doesn't need to collapse. It's not broken. There's nothing wrong with it. Especially if you live in America. If you live in America and you're broke, just do a little bit of self-reflection. I'll help you through that here. But this is the land of opportunity. There's more opportunity than ever before, especially the fact that if you have a laptop computer, an internet connection, and chat GPT, you can go make a killing online right now, and your ancestors would be insanely jealous of the opportunities available. My grandfather was a farmer. He'd wake his ass up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go milk the cows before he walked 5 miles to the one-room schoolhouse where it was grades K through 8. And like it would probably blow his mind if he were around today that people actually have the time to sit around and think about what gender they are. But if you've got access to these things, this is the double-edged sword of the times that we're living in, that these things are displacing certain types of work, but it's also creating more opportunity than ever before. So we'll get into that in a couple minutes. But honestly, right now, the job market might look bad. Like I was laid off from my job in March. I was a programmer. And like I'm glad they did. I needed the push out the door to go build up the Astral Atom Network and do some of the things with Destiny Engine. Would have never been possible if I wasn't laid off. But just seeing like how companies like that are just self-immolating by cannibalizing their top talent. It's not just them, it's just endemic to the whole freaking system of jobs that have existed heretofore, that like some boomers are just thinking like, oh, there's AI now, so why do we need all these people? So there's, fire a bunch of people. But the thing is, like, the stock market's booming. Money's flowing. Like, there's more rich people making ungodly sums of money than ever before, and they're spending it like water. So, as a domesticated, job-based slavery society, yeah, it's crumbling. But as a merchant society needs to arise again, like we originally were, that everyone had their own business, everybody had a thing that they do or a trade that they practiced. And if the merchant society doesn't arise right now, we're all going to wind up in just a kind of neo-feudalism again. So that's the choice from a market perspective. When we say the timelines are splitting, one of the ways in which they're splitting is that one road goes to neo-feudalism, social credit score. The other road goes to everyone experiences a level of prosperity that has never been possible on this planet. The poorest person today lives better than a king did in the year 1200. If you have air conditioning in your dwelling, your quality of life is better than somebody living in the Middle Ages. If you have a refrigerator where you can keep meat for a week or two without it going rancid, you're living, if you have access to clean drinking water, you're living better than a king in the Middle Ages. Hmm? So, perspective. But I'd like you to imagine that, let's say this guy in our private community actually got what he's hoping for, the collapse of the monetary system, which people say money's evil, money's the root of all evil. People that have money are greedy or bad or awful or whatever. If we actually got the collapse of the money system, it doesn't take a genius to figure out how awful that looks on just a global scale. So money disappears. So where are you going to get your food? Do you buy it from the store? Do you like to be able to go to a restaurant and place a takeout order or buy a burger, or do you like to be able to go to Walmart and buy some produce? How do you think that gets there? Where did those vegetables come from? Does somebody grow them? Why do they grow them? Do you think that the people that grow those vegetables would do it if you didn't pay them? Probably they would do it if you didn't pay them because they have to feed their family. But they're not going to share it with you. Why would they bother? Or the entire chain of logistics that it takes to get it so you can walk down to the corner store and buy a gallon of milk that's homogenized, pasteurized, safe to drink. Like, do these people who say that the money system should just collapse imagine like how all that takes place if money goes out the window tomorrow? I mean, just imagine the sheer panic that would ensue if Google went down for an hour. Like, what would happen to the markets if Google went down for an hour? What would happen if people made a run on the banks? The sheer chaos in the streets. Most people living in urban type of environments don't know how to grow a carrot, let alone have half an acre to do it on so they can eat throughout the spring, summer, fall, and have enough over the winter. So if you like feeding your children, probably that's not an option, and maybe money's a stretch right now. But not everybody is in a position to raise a dozen chickens for eggs. It gets ugly real fast. And let's suppose that you're ready. You have a tiny little garden behind your house. Well, how long do you think that's going to last before somebody who didn't start a little garden behind their house comes and takes it by force? Because they want to feed their family too. Do you like having heating and air conditioning? Do you like being able to flip a switch and turn the electric lights on? You like being able to cook indoors with a gas stove or an electric stove? None of these things happen by magic, and they certainly wouldn't without money. At least not right now. So that's where I think that the misery that would ensue if money just evaporated wouldn't be just short term. It's not like some short term rip off the Band-Aid and now everything's okay. No, it would be the new Dark Ages for a long time, and a lot of people would die. So I propose that the ascension timeline is actually a yang upward spiral, that those who choose the upward ascension timeline have to partake in the new merchant society, where we recognize, yes, AI is taking our jobs because our jobs deserve to have been taken by AI because our jobs weren't that creative to begin with. Like, if we're really conscious co-creators of this reality, then what business do we have being a customer support representative if an AI could just do that automatically and take care of 99% of cases? Or like what business do we have doing like basic accounting if an AI could just figure it out? It would be as silly as, instead of buying a 4-function calculator, we insist on maintaining the job of somebody who just does long division, multiplication, and addition for you. That'd be ridiculous. And if we can't rise to the occasion and actually employ our creativity, AI is actually going to seem like some sort of replacement. Like, we're actually competing with AI as humans. And we're not, because it's honestly not that intelligent. If you've worked with AI for long enough, that you realize that AI is not that smart. Like, I personally have a divine freaking intellect, and I'll be the first to tell you, AI is not smart. It's really stupid. It's a predictor of the next word in a sentence, to oversimplify it. But it's a statistical prediction of what's the next most likely word in the output. And it's just matrix math. It is not human intellect, and it doesn't go very deep. So if you're a intelligent individual, if you did meditation training or musical training before the age of 7, then you're going to have developed what's called the corpus callosum. This is a bridge between the left and right hemispheres of your brain. And a lot of people don't have this active or switched on because they don't practice meditation or they didn't have early musical training. But the reason that you need this is to join the two major spheres of your psychic life: the logical and the creative. So the types of things that AI is good at is really just the logical, like predict the next word in a sentence, write an email. It doesn't take any serious insight to get those types of things done. But if you have ever had a stroke of genius, which most people do, and they just get it beaten out of them in the school system, or especially if you have strokes of genius on a daily basis, you know that they don't come from some logical if this then that type of first order Bayesian nonsense. It does, and it's not just like doodling on a piece of paper. It's not just some raw imaginative process. It comes from somewhere, and it is the union of the left and right hemispheres to create something that wouldn't have been possible without that marrying of the logical with the creative and employing the godlike power of your subconscious mind to tap into the universal stream of ideas and to download from your higher self, your guardians, your masters. So when somebody that's locked into that left brain logical consciousness talks to AI for a bit, eventually something will leak through from its training data where somebody somewhere had a genius idea on the interwebs, which they trained this from, and it'll show up in the chat buffer, and the person using it will go, oh my god, this thing's a genius, this thing's smarter than me, it's going to surpass human intelligence. Well, people that think that AI is smarter than humans, it probably is going to be smarter than a lot of people, but that's not saying a whole lot, because a lot of people aren't that smart. And it's not that that's some amazing feat. It's that the bar is kind of low to be smarter than most people. And they're saying, oh, yeah, it's already smarter than a high school student, and it's as smart as a PhD researcher. Now, I know a lot of PhD researchers, and I don't think they're that intelligent. I don't have a PhD. And when I talk to some of my PhD acquaintances, I'd rather beat my head against a brick wall than continue the conversation. And the same goes for a lot of AI conversations, because no genuine insights come through. If you're the kind of person where you're having genius level insights every single day, you know that AI is just sort of mirroring whatever the heck you're telling it. And don't get me wrong, like, it's necessary, it's awesome, and you can compile and cohere and bounce ideas off of these things, and it helps in the genius process, but it doesn't actually produce genius in itself. Sometimes it mimics genius by just copying what somebody else did, but it's very surface level. Like, when I get one of these flashes of insight, sometimes I'll go to the AI and I'll try to see if I can get it to arrive at the same flash that I did by just guiding it in that direction with certain premises that add up to the insight. And it never gets it. I prod it 3 or 4 times. It never gets it. And I have to explain the conclusion to it. So this is the level to which we have to rise in order to remain the masters of our domain. But not just remaining the masters of human survival, but to thrive. Is that we have to recognize that this thing is not here to take away our sovereignty. It's here to liberate us from the types of monotony that we don't need to be doing anymore. We're creative. We're highly creative beings, and we need to learn to tap into that creativity. And as soon as we can re-download those types of abilities from the stars where we're from, we're going to be able to do mundane things like make our economy work, let alone our balance our checkbook. So on just a basic level, getting your environment straightened out, like just your immediate environment, will go light years towards inviting prosperity into your life. Like, look at your house or your apartment, your dwelling, and see where your front door is, and make sure that there's no obstructions in the way of your front door. Make sure that your hallways are clear. Your hallways represent the flow of money and other types of force. Make sure there isn't piles of junk in your hallway. As a symbol of abundance, you should also put a bowl of fruits. Like, keep a bowl of fruit in your kitchen. Like 3-4 different types of fruit. Like, maybe you don't even eat them. It doesn't matter. Just like every week, like, refill the bowl with fresh fruit. Don't let it go bad. Throw it out. Give it to the birds for good karma. You know, make sure the things in your house serve their function. You have any broken chairs, like, fix them. Like, don't either fix them or throw them out. Like, everything needs to serve its function. Don't have a chair with just a bunch of papers piled up on it, and it's not serving its function as a chair. Common sense stuff about your house. So if you're the man of the house or in your business, you need to somehow occupy the northwest corner. This is the power corner of your house. If you're in the northwest corner, this is the father energy of the house is in that quadrant. So if you run a business, this is especially important. Even if you're not actively in that area, like keep a picture of yourself, some representation of you in there. If you run an office, don't give the desk in the northwest corner to somebody else. Otherwise, they're gonna be in charge of your business. Likewise, the southeast. It's either southeast or southwest for women is a similar, or the converse of that. I'd have to check my book. It's in Liber Prosperia. If you guys have downloaded Liber Prosperia, this is the condensed insights. This is everything that you need to know. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want Liber Prosperia. But that, yeah, feng shui stuff. You can find out all sorts of feng shui tips that you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to spend a bunch of money to get this right. Just once you get the feng shui for money, everything just sort of makes sense, and you'll common sense your way through the rest of it. Like reduce clutter. Make sure that just on a practical level, you don't want distractions everywhere for your mind. So if you like I'm sitting now, I have my back to a wall, and I'm looking at, I can see all the windows and doors of this room. So that's considered the command position. You want to be in the command position when you're doing business. So if you're not in the command position, just on a subconscious level, you're constantly thinking like, well, what if somebody comes through the door, or I don't know what's over there. You're scanning in the back of your mind. Whereas like you have a wall behind you, you have this support. So even better than that you can put up like a picture of like mountains or some like very yang feature. You wouldn't want to put something like dead or depressing behind you. Like you wouldn't want some like picture of a dead tree or something. I know it sounds stupid, but Master Chunyulin said he had a client that did that. He had a picture of some like dead tree for some stupid reason behind him at his desk. He's like, yeah, you got to get rid of that, or you're gonna lose your job within 6 months. And he did. So yeah, you want that support behind you. But yeah, figure out the feng shui of your place. As for your time is your most important asset. Like, time is way more important than money. If I get something from Amazon and it's not what I was expecting, or it breaks, or I decide I don't want it anymore, or I don't need it, I don't return it. Like for people who like return things to Amazon, what the heck is wrong with you? Isn't your time more valuable than that? Like, I'd have to like, go find the receipt and then put it back in its box and tape it all up, and then like drive to the Amazon return place, like wait in line, and like fill out a thing. I don't know. Like it's a big waste of time to go do it, especially if it's only like 20, 30 bucks, even $100. Like I probably wouldn't return it, just because it's an insult to my time. Like I could spend that same amount of time making $1,000. So like why would I go spend an hour and a half to go get $20 back? It's insane. It's less about like, even if I got screwed, buy the product, I'd write it off because it's not worth my time. Um, I'll give you an example of this. We had one guy buy one of our books, and it's weird because it wasn't even his first time as our customer. He bought other products in the past, and he seemed happy with them. And last night he bought one of our books, and he like typed in a wrong email address or something like that. I don't know, and he didn't get a copy of the info product. And like my girlfriend and I were just hanging out last night, just spending like a couple 3 hours just being together and not working like we always do. And we check our phone. A series of 3 email came in from this one guy who, in the span of a couple hours, had bought this product, realized he didn't get it immediately, and said that if we didn't reply within an hour, he was going to go report us for being fraudsters. And I just go, what the heck is wrong with you, dude? Like, this book cost you $20. We've communicated before. I thought we had a business relationship. You're complaining for 3 hours about something that cost you $20, and on a Saturday night, you're hurling abuses at me when I haven't even checked my email yet. Like, this started literally at 7:00 at night on a Saturday, and we get to it about 9:30. He's like, "Yeah, if you don't reply within an hour, I'm going to report you for fraud." It's like, you know we're not fraudsters. Like, we've sent you your products before, and I don't say this to like call the guy out, and I'm not gonna name names, but I just said, look, we're gonna give you all of your money back, not just for that product, but the rest of the products as well, because I don't want to deal with you. I don't think you're a very nice person. You've been abusive to me on a Saturday night. You definitely would have gotten your product. We've never given you any reason to think you wouldn't. And the fact that you're gonna try to make my life hell on a Saturday night when I'm just trying to spend time with my girlfriend, yeah, I don't care about your money. You can freaking have it. And he flipped out. He's like, "Yeah, I'm still you're fraudsters. This just proves that you're fraudsters." I'm like, great, we're fraudsters. So yeah, freaking report us, dude. Have fun. But I kind of feel sorry for people that are in this kind of mindset, because it's not just about like what he did to me on a Saturday night, and yeah, it pissed me off, and I'm telling you about it. But it's more about his attitude towards money and towards commerce and towards people that exchange things with him that he conceivably wanted more than that amount of money. So when somebody gives you money for something, they're giving you that money because you're solving a problem for them. They're giving you that money because the value that you provide, the solution that you give them, the result that they're going to get is more than the amount that they pay you. And that's what all our products are designed to do, is to give you more value than what you paid for. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth paying for it, would it? And especially Destiny Engine, because you can listen for a few minutes and completely rewrite your belief system. It's basically a prayer machine. But yeah, so he bought one of the books and just didn't get it immediately, and expects immediate customer support on a Saturday night. This also just isn't how you relate to a human, and I think it says more about him than any interaction that we've ever had with him. Because if you'll abuse somebody over $30, what would you like? How do you really view yourself? That for $30 you'll spend 3 hours and tear someone a new butthole. So just look, and that's not the only money block I've seen. There's a lot of them, and we go through them in Liber Prosperia. So I'll link Liber Prosperia in the description. We talked a lot about AI, so probably you want to take a look at Silicon Awakening as well. I'll put that link in the description. About the two hemispheres of your brain. Like, if you want to be getting those genius level insights, you need the gamma frequencies. Okay, so there was a former military drone pilot. I just call him S because he doesn't want to be identified, but he's in our private community. He turned me on to the high gamma frequencies and what you could do with them. And when you link them with your heart, with your solar plexus, that ability to manifest becomes many-fold than if you were just focusing on the third eye, which is a seat of power, but it's not the generator. So you need to hook up the seat of mind power to the generator, like that heart fire. You need that heart fire linked up to the generator. And the easiest way to do that is with the gamma frequencies. So you can access those with Destiny Engine using the binaural beats. So there you'll utilize programs with specific affirmations designed to activate your solar plexus, your abundance frequencies, combined with a carrier frequency in your left ear and plus 50 hertz, 80 hertz, or 100 hertz in your right ear. So you hear this beating hallucination that isn't actually there, and that beating resonates your brain at the gamma frequencies, which are really only found in monks, in long-time meditators, and they're very hard to develop on your own unless you are quite the adept and you've been trained in Shaolin traditions and such. But if you want to access those within the span of a few minutes, you can try the Destiny Engine trial. The link is in the description. You can steal it now for just $1. You can get a week of access to Destiny Engine, only $1. If these tips were helpful for you, drop us a like, because it helps us out a ton with the algorithm and tells the algorithm that you want to see more of what we are offering here at Destiny Engine Official. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and that's what I got for you today. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye for now.